Okay, we got that done. How are you doing, Legend?
So far, so good.
I don't think we got any new submissions, do we?
For a bounty, no.
That makes our job easy today. What's about reviews? We have the Carlos bounty, which did you already know? You didn't pay the Carlos man. Dear bounty fund owners, please pay this bounty. Oh, the goat arrived. Do you have a mic today, Dinette? You have been surprisingly mic-less the last weeks. That's a funny GIF I made this. A goat Spider-Man. Great that we started off, Dinette. Appreciate it. So if we got that handed, last point on our agenda for today is would be new bounties, but I replaced it today with the project that our leader Taki assigned to us, which is Grape Brand Identity / awareness campaign for the Grape Brand Identity. Did you find all the infos on the Diva card? Okay. Or was there something missing? Address looks good to me. Legend, do you need an energy drink? You're so quiet today. And everybody else is shy.
Yeah, today I'm kinda sleepy, let's say.
Did you have a long gaming night? What did you do?
Nah, just bed. Sleep, I guess.
Oh. But it's not too hot in Portugal right now, isn't it?
Hmm?
If it's really hot during the night, people can't sleep that well.
Nah, it's too cold.
It's cold, okay.
Night, you're sending transaction through another squad, not through the bounty squads. So it's a no.
And I was frantically looking where I might have missed that we changed wallets. Jesus. Dynite. Hey guys.
OMG.
I was looking like, okay, where was it mentioned? Did I sleep?
I only checked the recipient. Now I also see that there's this
I
weird.
clicked on owners and I was like, what? No. Plus, I was wondering whether Dynite changed the picture. So, like, so many questions. Thanks, Legend.
Can only take the I just tested you out this many times, Dynite.
Trust score
Archimede.
significantly decreased, like rated double B now. Dynite.
Double B. It's not standard. It's not standard and poor's. It's standard and poor's.
And to confirm, it's 1,500, right?
Yeah, it was 2K at first, but we paid 500 already.
Okay.
Yeah, Dana, but this new project is right up your alley. Ideas I have for this project is a tweet contest, or an article contest. These are my ideas.
A tweet contest for what?
For
Regarding
the
what?
project Taki assigned to us. For let's just call it Grape Awareness Campaign. I will note down if Paul, if Legend is sleepy, then nothing happens.
I'm hearing.
You are present at best.
I mean, better than some people.
Yeah, yeah. But you're like the guy whose achievement for the day was arriving in the classroom at school.
To be fair, he did catch Dynite's shenanigans, so
Yeah. Second achievement. Yeah, Archimedes, maybe you missed the heads up in the bounty group I set up. Taki, who is now kind of taking leadership role, wants us to, yeah, basically not only handle bounties but also like projects from the DAO that the DAO gives to us for execution, or in this case, leadership gives to us for execution. And the first proposed project for this is that we come up with ways to gather attention or awareness in the wider crypto community in Solana for Grape.
I love you, Archimedes. My thoughts exactly.
Yeah. Well.
Hello. Wait.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I figured rather than have to type the rest out, I'd just start talking so you guys can hear me. I try and avoid talking you guys to death. You know, I've learned years.
We can handle it. We can handle it. Are you feeling better?
Yeah, much better than
Oh, that's great.
than a couple of weeks ago. It's just it's really early for me, and I'm not gonna lie. I woke up very recently, and the last thing I wanted you to hear was me grumpy and early in the morning without having even created my first cup of coffee. So now that I have it, you can hear the birds chirping in the background. I'm on my balcony having a cigarette while I'm talking to you guys, and I'm ready. I'm ready for everything. What did our glorious leader decide? That we're going to handle projects? Great, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make tweet contests so that we can get hype going again and memes and great. The hype is done because everybody who was in crypto for that has probably left. But whatever we can do to get awareness of Grape. What is Grape anyway?
Yeah.
What is Grape?
Yeah, I think that's also the big question we have to answer, and maybe we might be able to like gamify it. But let's first finish up with our glorious leader. Basically,
Sure.
our glorious leader, asked me what I would like to do, and I was like, maybe we could work on our identity. And then he
Yeah,
was,
that works.
do that,
works.
do that. And I was like, okay. Now we're here.
Yeah, I mean, I would just pose a question to anybody who's got ideas. Is what do they think Grape is? I'd love to know what the rest of the DAO thinks Grape is. I have my idea, right? But I don't want to give everybody this vision of, oh, this is what Grape could be. I'd like to see if they've thought of it and whether they're invested in it as much, because there are things happening right now in Realms, for instance, that I know what they do. I know what the features are. I just don't know why they've happened without us talking about them a little bit more.
Referring to the council token changes.
Yeah, the council token change and the 50K that's going to go back into the treasury wallet to use for some reason. It's just not that it's a problem. Like, I'd love for the DAO to control more of the funds and for us to have better mechanisms for doing all that. That's fine, but we didn't really talk about any of it.
Yeah. I'm actually a little bit concerned about the council token stuff because it's quite a big change.
Right. But that's I guess that's the way it goes.
That's another topic, yeah. Yeah, like you mentioned, everybody has like different idea of what Grape is, and my thinking was that maybe we could leverage this, that everybody has their own idea and make a contest out of it.
Yeah, I think that that's a great idea.
Huh?
I think that that's a great idea. But I also think that we should tie it to a project that has to do with like something actionable and something that is tangible after. Like we end up with a product, or we end up with a tool, or we end up with a video or campaign, or something we can reuse that would last, test the time, and bring people in.
Yeah. I mean, what we could do is we have the contest about the idea of Grape, like present your idea of Grape, and then we, well, make some other material out of it, maybe a short video or a GIF or a design, and then share that. And it's also kind of like a reward for the winner because his contribution is then like on the official Grape campaign.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around why we're even doing this. It's like organizing a party and your whole like flat is messed up. Everything looks like shit, and you can't even have guests, to be honest. So like if I wouldn't be in Grape, I wouldn't see any reason to join. Like in this, maybe to connect with people, but it's
Right.
like
Are you
I don't
are
get
you
it.
aware of Grape? Do you know of Grape? Yes, I know of Grape. What do you guys do? We have calls every Sunday and Tuesday.
We have issues. Yeah, it's like I don't get it.
Oh.
But maybe I'm a bit too pessimistic. So like
No. We could say we're a bingo club. We're just looking for people who are, a little more elderly to join so that they can, we could play games.
A bar dog would love to play games with you.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, CryptoPus. That's kind of what I want to say, but again, I'm looking at it from a different angle where I'm like, you know what? Okay, forget hierarchy and stuff like that. It's a valid point. What project should we focus on? Well, I think the project we should focus on is the things that the DAO is unable to develop projects for. That we talk about, but there's no real tangible reward for them, right? So I think what we should be looking at, in my opinion, is everything the DAO talks about, and we come out with bounties, and we're the ones that get rewarded for it at the end of the day because no one else is creating them.
Yeah.
That's maybe and I'm not saying that because I want the grape. I'm saying that because I'm looking at the DAO and I'm thinking to myself, there's a missing piece to everything that we talk about as a DAO. It's the people that are going to go execute creating the ability for us to do it.
Yeah.
That creates awareness by itself. That right there, when you start putting bounties out to say things like, oh, we need to develop this, or we need to create something, a product, a service, whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's
I completely agree both with you and with Pause, but the thing is, it's like an organizational problem because so far we only have been like the execution part. People come in with ideas and we make the bounty out of it. We describe it well. We look for bounty hunters. We answer questions. We discuss if this is a good idea. if the submission of a bounty submission matches our description and our idea beyond the description, but we never had initiative and decided ourselves, okay, we want to do this, we want to push this, and changing that is
Doesn't make sense.
yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I see that it is kind of necessary, but we would really need to change this whole bounty setup, because as it stands right now, we get funds from the DAO to execute basically the ideas of the DAO. And as soon as we execute our own ideas, this whole setup becomes murky.
Yep.
Again, it's the scope
So
really
then
that
the
matters, right?
alternative. Yeah.
Go ahead, Archimedes.
Sorry, the alternative would be that we publish writing, right, that says here are the things you could create a bounty for, but we think we need is grape, right? But then again, the primary project would be, what is grape? I think that's the question that we need to answer, and what can we do with grape, and have a contest where people come up with ideas on what we could be doing differently with grape. Period. Open that up.
And regarding what you're saying, Dynite, it's like that's not even the point where I would make. It's more like both of those ways of handling things still require a focus or direction and resources. So we are not even clear on our resources part. Like I try to organize the workshop with Kirk, and we have way more pressing issues than this workshop, because he basically said that he wouldn't be available to do so. So it's like, if we have like devs that aren't talking with the rest and the rest isn't talking with the devs, we have issues. Like, and we need to address this first. So like, who is doing what do we want to really achieve and do, and we need to do this together. If we don't do this, it doesn't matter whether it's bottom up or top down. It's like, why are we even here?
Yeah, why are we here? And mostly the answer in crypto is very simple: to make money. But we are kind of in this weird space that we do not have a product that is bringing in revenue, or considerable revenue. So yeah, that's one side, and the other side is that we are always thinking about community involvement and yeah, basically also being a community. And I think that's where it breaks down. We don't have like a clear goal, and we don't have clear responsibilities, leadership positions, because we're always thinking about we have to include the community, and this can't be decided right now. We have to think about everybody and put it to a vote. It's a little bit like in the animes when we are crying up about Mina's-san, how it will impact everybody, and suddenly the discussion has to be re-rolled. That's
You
what
lost
happens
me
with
there,
us.
but we are lacking. We're lacking many things, but one thing would be communication. And since when I talked to Kirk, I realized that there is a rift somewhere So, and we need to fix this, or we need to at least address it, and people need to talk with each other. So it's like I'm looking at it in a way. When we had the DAO board, people looked at us and said, well, it's your responsibility, or the DAO board should do XYZ. So, and we tried our best to do it. So if there was a communication issue, we addressed it. We talked with the sub DAOs. We talked with like the international parts, and we tried to resolve it. Like in the end, not everything worked out, but at least we tried to establish a dialogue, and this isn't happening right now. So I think we can't do any kind of, or we can't do any kind of like projects if we aren't even sure what we want to achieve, who should do it, what resources are available. It's like bounties is one thing, and having a clear task outsourced to someone else and supervising the process. That's something we can do in this situation. But everything beyond that involves like and as I mentioned, the scope changes. That involves the direction of the DAO, or where a direction is necessary. We can't do. I don't see how.
Right. I think the what we should be doing is the question that will change all of this, to be honest. And the what I mean by what, if I gave you a basketball, you'll know what to do with it, right? You'll know that, oh, this is a basketball, it's meant for this particular game. Okay, great. So I think when we talk about projects and we talk about focus, we should have a very clearly defined set of categories that things fall into. Do we need to be focusing on the tools? Do we focus on the community? Do we focus on Grape, the token, right? The bounty that we're talking about, or the project that we're talking about, or whatever it is, that the work that's going to be done, we could label it however we want to. The point is, we need to figure out, I think, very high level and clearly, what we want to do with the resources we already have. If we already have tools, we already have a community, and we already have something, let's define it. You know, creating a Twitter campaign for notifying and informing people and making people aware of Grape is great to get more people involved. But again, I come back to the original problem. It's not a problem. It's more of a connection that we probably want to align on. What is Grape? Everybody will tell you something that's probably cookie cutter. Oh, it's a DAO. Okay. And why should I join? What's special about this? Other than the fact that you have a treasury and some NFTs, and you have people that know what's going on in Solana. Oh, you have a marketplace. Great. What are you doing with it? Oh, you have tools for access for Discord. Okay, great. Which communities are you connecting with regularly? Bare questions, right? Is that wrong? Do we need to reverse course? I don't think so, but you know, I'll ask that question. But simplify it, right? What is Grape doing?
Yeah, but I don't even know what Grape is really doing exactly, and I would need to
Well, let's help you that.
review the code pushes by Kirk to know that, because nobody is like keeping up with what he's doing, and I have no idea what's happening with GAN, if there maybe are new features or whatever. So I'm even
Well, right.
lacking
The
the
way it
internal
currently
information.
stands, Yeah, but let's just take it as what we know right now, right? We know GAN exists, we know that the access tools exist, and we know the marketplace exists. So 3 things right there.
Yeah, we
And if
don't
we want to go
even.
to, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't even need to answer each and every question. Like we don't need a like a fleshed out version of what is Grape. But still, we need something like that we can commit on, and then we can try to find ways to improve on what we're doing. But we still need to have a goal we are working towards. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I get what you're saying. I mean, in my view, that's just tangible. That everything that we talk about, whether it's the DAO, the bounty board, what the DAO board, whatever board you want to call it, and any other group that gets involved, sub DAOs and otherwise, we're all contributing back to a broader vision of what the DAO wants to accomplish, but may not realize what we need to do. What we
yeah.
need to do is find a way to make Grape, the token, useful beyond governance. That's one option.
So even on a lower level, I could see us do stuff like if we can define the scope and can agree on a given expectation. So like for example, create awareness for the Grape newsletter. This is a task we could do. Like we have something we are producing, or there is something we want people to see, and we can figure out ways to do that. And it's irrelevant what really happens after that. So like what's in the newsletter, for example, like, or to a certain degree it is important. But like these tasks I can see us doing as like a bounty board or whatever. But what you mentioned, Archimedes, this isn't something that we should do. It's like all of the DAO should decide and discuss that, and it can't be up to us to make it
I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying it's up to us. I'm just saying guiding it and pushing it, right? It's not by creating a bounty, you're not doing the work. You're putting out the work so that the people have vision and they understand the incentive of doing it. That's all.
that really is the DAO board. It's not.
I know. I know.
It had nothing to do with bounties.
You know, if the group that gets to decide which work gets done because there's visibility and we end up consulting the other partners that we have in the DAO or the sub DAOs to make a decision on whether or not a bounty should pass, maybe we should reverse engineer this process and go back to it and say, what else should we do? Go to the DAO, ask, what other bounties do we need, guys? You know, maybe that should be a regular topic on the DAO calls and asking what
Yeah,
bounties.
that's
That's
actually a good idea. Like find areas where we can try to come up with things. But still, if we find out what the DAO really wants, or like if the DAO gives a direction, it's still the issue on the wider goal. Like, yeah,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I'm not trying to instate any type of past processes here where the bounty board becomes the DAO board because that's what the project task sounds like, right? But at
Me,
the end of the day,
there's still a big difference because we are not choosing the project task. I mean, let's face it,
but
the
we
bounty
are.
board. Come again?
If we are tasked to come up with ideas, we're basically choosing.
Yes.
precisely. And
But
that's kind of where
I
I'm
hope
going.
my hope is that we will not choose in the future, but we will more be assigned / guided to a topic by the DAO or by leadership.
And what makes you think that this will happen?
You are as pessimistic as Legend today.
No, it's not pessimism. It's like the same issues we are having, everyone else will have probably. So without the direction and the idea behind it, you can't commit to something.
You're completely right, but that's basically a leadership strategy task, and that is to be decided by I don't know who or by the DAO.
Yeah. Look, I was just thinking that we translate the discussions in the DAO to bounties that end up becoming actual tasks, because
Yeah,
the DAO calls have become this thing where we have conversations about next steps and we talk about projects and ideas. Some of them I disagree with, but I'm not going to make the decision on whether the DAO makes the decision, right? If the DAO says that the project is worth it, like the saxophone discussion, for me, a big time suck. The DAO wants to discuss sagophones and giving them away, and that's the idea. Sure, that's what we want to spend funds. Could be focusing on building product, doing things that are going to try and grow Grape as a product, as tools, and putting people behind the tools to push them for projects that might still be out there, surviving the bear market cycle. And they have communities of people that are doing things. How do we collaborate with them? Do we ignore all that completely? You know, at the end of the day, if somebody brought us a bounty and said, "Hey, I think that this is a really good bounty," okay, we're gonna take it. We're gonna evaluate it as a group. Then we're gonna take it to the sub DAO or the subject matter experts, get their sign in, and agree whether or not it needs to happen or not.
So
It's
just to be clear,
not big of a gap.
and like that we are talking about the same thing. And the Saga phone is a good example. Like, is it that we are tasked with like bountifying things? So like our goal would be to find a way to handle the Saga phone issue. Or is it, am I getting it wrong?
I think that would be a good idea to handle it like that.
It might be useful, right?
Yeah.
But again, I don't look at the Saga phone as a task.
You're
Day
cutting
one,
out.
because sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry about that. My internet connection is kind of finicky. Anyway, I'm just saying that would be something where if I were to pose it to the DAO, right? I would argue the sagophones are not our highest priority right now as a topic, except
No, just
for
an
the
example. It's
previous
just an
discussion.
example. So
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a small thing and it's easy to talk about that instead of like bigger issues. So I was wondering if this is what we're tasked with, like
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
find solutions for a
Using that
given
as an
problem.
example. Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly the point, is that, okay, there's tasks that need to happen. Why not create bounties that were people who are going to do the work, right? So that the work gets done, because it's something that needs to happen. Right now, people are doing it anyway. Okay, do we need the bounty to do it? Whoever decides they will do something about it. Those that want to do something about it want to retrieve the funds back because they were already given. So I appreciate their efforts because it's benefiting the DAO in some shape or form, right? But if this were a project that we were talking about, like let's say emissions, right? That topic has been ongoing for several months without any clear, execution done. And it's like, okay, well, we'll keep talking about it, and we've set deadlines and all this stuff, but wouldn't it have happened faster if there was a bounty? Maybe, right? Because I think we're good at keeping up to date with what the tasks are, making sure that they get evaluated, making sure that we present them to the DAO and say, hey, this is the new feature that came out, and there's a way to track it and reward it. And anyway, I'm just trying to turn the discussions into actionable items, because I think at the core, what Grape really is a group of individuals that are going to organize together to complete tasks and initiatives, regardless of what tools we already have, right? That's the whole point. When we say DAO, it's not just a group that gets together to vote on realms and change features of existing or pre-existing things. And sure, we're investors for Solana, great. Why? Where's it going? What are we trying to accomplish? Well, whatever it is we're trying to accomplish it as a group. It could be wrong, it could be right, doesn't matter. Point is, that's what Grape is today. And the bounty board and this group, sole purpose and focus is just to get people together to execute and complete those tasks.
Comments, pause?
No, it was just an affirmative grunt.
Okay. Yeah, I
Was it
also...
was it a or was it a huh?
No, it was more of hi.
Got
Hi, senpai. Yeah, I agree with the state of things. Personally, I would like there to also be a product involved more, but
agreed.
state of things is described well in your statement. And
Look, it's
yeah.
But what we are here
it's
to
taking
exactly
lemons and turning them into lemonade.
yeah, we are here to talk about this. So if you want to see us do it differently or give us some additional insights or ideas, do so. Making like a small example.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to
Yeah.
Archimedes?
No, you said you would like to have the product idea or product ideas, or I didn't get it quite right. But it sounded as if you want to add something that is missing for you. Or
Well, in Archimedes' description, it was like people come together in a decentralized way to complete tasks.
Oh,
yes,
I see. Okay.
But there was no overarching picture, no unifying goal or direction.
Right.
And
So it's regarding the description and not our tasks per se. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but each task should either be in relation to a product or a goal, or directly pushing it. That's what I would like to
categorize. So then let's categorize them. That's, I guess, coming back to the point is putting things in the buckets of when we talk about tasks and initiatives on the DAO, we as the bounty group can be thinking about how to categorize them into actionable items, right? And where they fit. Oh, that belongs for the marketplace. Oh, that's for GAN. Oh, that's for Dean's List. Oh, that's for, whatever we have at our disposal to be able to execute and to help redirect that work. If no one else can think of the bounty, can't we? I guess that's kind of where I was going with that conversation. Again, the broader vision is going to be the challenge that I think we're all going to have is what are we doing, right? We need to be connecting the dots. We need to get past the phase of philosophy and theory, and we need to be getting to the point of execution and saying, how do we get to where we want to get to? And everyone's like, wait, I don't know where we're going. It's like you're meeting up with friends and it's like, hey, we're all going to meet at John's house. Where the fuck does John live?
Who is John?
Who is John? I'm using the only name that I don't think exists currently on the, the community. So, Oswald. Where does Oswald live?
Yeah. Let's just say for our current project, I think I'm going to go with the Twitter contest and with the idea
Cool.
of rewarding the winner with a
Yeah.
official Grape campaign with his slogan or whatever.
Yeah,
I think
no
that's
harm
a
in
good
doing
base
a beta.
idea.
Yeah, and it's a good experiment for us to execute a project just to get it up and running, right? A task doesn't need to
Yeah.
yield the most amount of grape. Is it the best use of our time? Maybe not, but what other focuses should there be? And the DAO should be in tune with giving us more information about what types of projects we should be pursuing. The DAO, not one individual on the DAO. I'm talking about the whole DAO. Like, we should be getting feedback from the whole DAO. Anyway,
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, so I will make a thread in Bounty HQ and we can discuss it asynchronously. Finish it up before we put it on discourse.
yep, execution monster.
Yeah. Now we can continue with high level topics for the last 8 minutes.
Good man.
Both you, Pause, and you, Archimedes, you said many things I agree with, but it's almost on a meta level, the discussion currently. It's like, okay,
I know.
what
know.
should we be
It's
doing?
abstract.
Where are we going? And
Right, it's abstract. And what I'm trying to do is filter out that confusion into something that we all have a very clear, actionable like path to. When we hear something on the DAO, does the discussion end up yielding what we want, right? As a group, as a not just as a bounty board, but as members of that DAO.
yeah.
That's what I'm focused on at the end of the day. And I feel like you could point at the fact that we have a lot of people talking about it on the down. Here we have a smaller select group of people that are experts and have been focused on getting shit done. And, you know, most of the work that's been done is either on GAN or via the bounty board. That, you know what work's happening on whatever bounties have been issued. Everything else, we have no idea. So figure it out or define it. And get rid of that being the challenge, because I think that's the biggest problem, is that we keep coming back to, well, we don't know. But we do. We know what should be happening, or at least we want to. Anyway, I'll stop talking. That's why I start.
That's good. It's good.
In the beginning.
The thing why I don't really want to push it, because it sounds like an organizational change to you, to me. It's almost like an organizational change project, because we currently have all decisions are made by VDAO, and there is no. Yeah, now we have Taki, but that's pretty new. And so the question is always, if we talk about execution or about tasks, there has to be a decision of what should be done, and then there has to be the act of executing it, of doing the work. And as we are not, we are deciding how to you spend the money of the DAO. If we now say, okay, we also want to decide what to spend it on and not have a bounty come in from a DAO member or from the DAO itself, however that should work, we would at least need to discuss a change to that, so that we somehow get that we either have a new council or whatever that has this competence of deciding itself what to do with a budget, or need to discuss a change to the bounty system that we get this competence of decision.
Yep.
And these are not easy discussions in my mind.
Yeah, and I particularly appreciate your line of thinking, writer, and whether or not we agree or disagree, I love the fact that we can debate things and we end up at a reasonable area of intersection where we can agree to disagree, but then there's actionable items that we can actually move forward on. I think that's something that the DAO lacks, in my opinion. That there's always these discussions where we stand at an impasse. Right now, you can move forward with moving something forward, and then we will get behind you, right? Regardless of whether we agree or disagree, we're all going to be on the same page, and we're all going to be focused on getting a task done together, right? And I think that culture is something that's really good. It's something that I enjoy, and one of the reasons why I come to these calls pumped, knowing that I'm going to be working with you guys and that we're going to be having thoughtful discussions, right? And I don't mean to throw more oil into the flame on things that we don't know what to do, but I think just getting to a place where we have actionable items, tangible actionable items, and an awareness of why we're doing them, and making sure that they're in line with what the DAO needs, it makes sense. So I appreciate the time and effort you put into things, and also listening to me ramble on a Sunday.
Thank you for the kind words. I always try to keep it civil and to find common ground.
Yep, and Dynet's referring to the fact that the calls happen in a certain time zone, and for those that are in the States or in America, the American meetings are basically the ones that, what time is it for somebody in the United States or in China or in Australia when these calls are happening, right? It's either, or even Korea or Japan, right? On the extremes of the time zones, somebody in California, for instance, or Hawaii, versus somebody who's in Japan, and otherwise to join these calls and what time zone that would be for them to, be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind
Pause,
of
you have been quiet for a moment, Mr. Pause. Do you want to add something?
No, all good. I'm listening.
Okay. If there's time in the DAO call today, we might be able to, well, share our thoughts about the DAO itself, giving bounties or projects to us, not an individual member.
Yep. But it's good that we have a takeaway from this call, and that there's the next step. And that's thanks to you, Ryder, pushing forward and making sure we stay focused on what it is that the objective was. So
yeah, we'll create the thread for the Twitter contest.
Great.
During the DAO call. Yeah. And when I think it will go this way, but we define what we want to do and come up with a budget for this specific contest, and then, well, either Taki approves it or the DAO itself approves it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the DAO just needs to agree on it as a whole. I don't think we should be relying on any single individual for decisioning, but guidance is definitely helpful.
Responsibility works, Mr. Archimedes.
I agree. Accountability is the mother of greatness.
What was the saying? What gets measured gets done, and what gets reported gets done faster.
I'll keep that one in mind.
Thing with, yeah.
I may say that during one of my work meetings this week, and people are going to be like, "Huh, where did you get that one from?"
I think
Aha.
I picked it up during my stint at Ford.
Nice. Very
okay,
nice.
we are on time. Let's reconvene during the DAO call.